Rocky. This thing is such a thing that you can drink it with bitter. You can drink it with sweet. You can drink it with joy. You can drink it with crying. You can drink it with melon. You can drink it with cheese. You can drink it with food. You can drink it with water. You can drink it without water. You can drink it with soda. You can drink it with turnips. But you can't drink it with a single idiot.
Excessive consumption of alcohol is of course harmful to health. We often overlook a paradox. While excessive alcohol consumption is harmful, so is excessive water intake. Drinking more than 2-3 liters of water a day can strain the kidneys and upset the body's mineral balance. This paradox underscores the need for balanced perspectives in our understanding of health and societal issues. It's also known that drinking small amounts of alcohol has profound benefits for the body. The masses' opposition to something often needs to be related to scientific data. But unfortunately, science is far away from societies. It's not science that guides the masses. Otherwise, the world would be a much more beautiful planet. The irrational and unscientific attitudes of the masses are related to the exaggeration of tradition. Tradition has to do with religion, nationalism, or culture, and all of them have a lot of fallacies that don't fit the times and the facts. However, some opposition is the result of propaganda, and the state's ideological apparatus manipulates the masses by spreading this propaganda. It was during this period that the Coca-Cola company, a key player in the prohibition of alcohol in the United States, began to rise and influence the country's governing institutions. Prohibition era serves as a stark reminder that states often prioritize the interests of the bourgeoisie over those of the people. Otherwise, sugar, a substance with its own set of health concerns, would have been subject to similar bans. Instead, its consumption continues to grow, highlighting the selective nature of such prohibitions. In the United States, in the mid-1800s, a movement began against alcohol, which many saw as having a corrupting influence on American family life. By 1855, growing public support for alcohol prohibition resulted in 31 states banning alcohol. Behind this movement was the propaganda of religious associations and institutions. Even President Woodrow Wilson, 1856-1924, began to support prohibition. At that time, those who supported prohibition in Parliament were called dry, and those who opposed it were called wet. Support for prohibition reached such a point that there was intense propaganda that alcohol was the leading cause of all social problems. Coca-Cola supported this propaganda and funded many organizations, especially religious institutions. Prohibition came into force in January 1919 during the 18th Amendment to the United States Constitution. alcohol was banned throughout the United States. Now, all the problems would end and families would be at peace. The social problems of the United States would come to an end. That's not what happened at all. On the contrary, smuggling increased and the sale of alcohol came under the control of the mafia. Rum smuggling and speakeasies spread throughout the state. The mafia took complete control of alcohol. The famous mafia leader Al Capone and Coca-Cola continued to prosper. Al Capone's power in Chicago's nightclubs grew enormously since the sale of alcohol was illegal. Even children started drinking. On February 20, 1933, the US Congress voted to lift prohibition and free liquor. Prohibition lasted 13 years in the United States. None of the social problems decreased. On the contrary, illegal liquor sales fell into the hands of criminal organizations and the pre-prohibition sales rates didn't decrease. The biggest gain of prohibition was the further development of the Coca-Cola Company. The company had already propagandized the prohibition through religious institutions. None of the beverage companies are among the giant sectors of world capitalism, but Coca-Cola is one of the biggest companies of capitalism. It would not be an exaggeration to say that Coca-Cola is identical with capitalism. Therefore, in moderation, a small amount of alcohol, especially wine, is good for health and the world. Şerefe.